Sometimes the biggest ideas aren't buried in some huge, complicated textbook. Nope, they're actually hiding right out in the open. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take just one single scientific definition and completely pull it apart to see what story it's really telling. So, it all kicks off with a simple question. When you hear the term mixed gland, what does that even mean? What's it a mix of? Sounds straightforward, right? Well, we're about to find out. And believe it or not, the entire answer is locked inside just one sentence. And there it is. That's it. That's our entire source for today. Now, I know it might look a little intimidating if you don't speak Italian, but trust me on this. Don't worry about it. Everything, and I mean everything we need to know is packed right into those few words. Let's start breaking it down piece by piece. All right, let's grab our first clue. See that first word producono? That just means they produce. So right away, the definition is telling us that the most important thing here is what these glands make. And it turns out it's not just one thing, it's two. And what are those two things? Well, we've got muco, which is mucus, and sero, which is serum. And boom, right there, that's the core of our answer. The reason it's called a mixed gland is because it's producing this combination, these two totally different substances. Let's take a quick look at each one. So first up, we have mucus. This stuff is one half of the equation, one part of this gland's special two-part job. And the other half? That's serum, which is more of a watery, protein-filled fluid. So it's this combination, the mucus and the serum together, that gives the gland its name. That's what makes it mixed. Okay, so we've pretty much answered our big question. But you know what? This little sentence has more secrets for us. We know what they make, but we still don't know what these glands actually are. So let's dive back into our definition and hunt for the next clue. And there it is, the big reveal. The text goes on to say, e sono quelle salivary. And that just means, and they are the salivary ones. That's right, we've been talking about the salivary glands this whole time, the ones right there in your mouth. So let's just connect those dots and make it super clear. Based on what we're reading here, mixed glands are the salivary glands. Simple as that. It feels like another piece of the puzzle just snapped right into place. Now, you might be thinking, okay, got it, we're done. But hold on, because this little sentence isn't quite finished with us. It has one more detail, one last little layer to add to the story. And that final piece of information is just a number. The number 3. Now, this isn't just random. It's the very last detail about their structure that our sentence gives us. But what on earth does it mean? Well, the definition wraps up with this phrase, che si suddividono in 3 tipologie, which simply means which are subdivided into 3 types. So get this, not only are we talking about salivary glands, but these salivary glands are then broken down into even more categories. So our sentence confirms for sure that there are 3 different types, but then it just stops. It tells us that there are 3, but it doesn't tell us what they are. And, that's a really important part of breaking something down like this, figuring out not just what a source is telling you, but also what it's not telling you. So here we are, right back where we started, looking at the same sentence, but now it makes so much more sense, right? Mixed glands, they produce both mucus and serum, and they are the salivary glands, which are subdivided into 3 types. We literally took it apart, and now that we've put it back together, every single word has its place. It all fits. So let's do a quick recap of everything we just pulled out of that one powerful sentence. First, mixed means it makes 2 things, mucus and serum. Second, these glands, there are salivary glands. And third, those salivary glands are divided into 3 different types. Pretty amazing that all of that was packed into just one little line, huh? It really makes you think, doesn't it? It just goes to show you that you don't always need a giant textbook to understand something complex. Sometimes, all it takes is really, really paying attention to the details that are sitting right in front of your face. It makes you wonder, how many other simple ideas are out there, just hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to deconstruct them?